FastCast TV, Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 3. So we kick off tonight with the main event. Jon and Daenerys at Dragonstone when the walls fell. So this is it. This is the meeting of fire and ice, of which the song is presumably about. I would classify their reception as chilly, which is, to be expected. I think Weiss and Benioff nailed it in their discussion afterward, which is like, Jon doesn't know Daenerys, so to him, this is some petulant teenage girl saying, I am queen. And she doesn't know Jon, so all she knows is some bastard who's full of himself who's decided to take over in the north. But I do think, despite the posturing, that we are making some headway by the end. How this is going to shake out is anyone's guess. Eventually, she does agree, after some chatting with Tyrion, to allow him to mine the dragon glass. Tyrion had a really good point about this, which is, if it's good, you've made an ally. If it's useless, then you've lost nothing, because you weren't going to use this dragon glass anyway. The fallout from last week's battle then happens, where we see Euron show up with his queenly gift, and man, does he give Jaime something to think about. He's a real poop stirrer. Cersei has not quite given him everything that he wants, because she's essentially said, you'll get what you want when the battles are won. So one presumes that she thinks that he'll die before she has to marry him. We get a heartfelt return. Bran Stark returns once again to Winterfell, the first time, pretty sure, since season 1. Sansa sees him, and then we get a little scene where we sort of realize just how detached he has become, where they're in Godswood, and he's, trying to tell her that he's the three-eyed raven, and she's like, yeah, I don't know what that means. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I think Sansa thought this was going to be more happy when she saw him, because he's kind of like, I see all and I see everything. But there's now a Stark man at Winterfell, and she says, you're the man of the castle now, which he says he can't be a man of the castle, whatever, blah, blah. So, we'll see what the fallout of this is. I'm assuming that he's going to see Jon pretty soon. So Sam, who we left last week, has cured Jorah. The Jim Broadbent Archmaester character is duly impressed. He says, a number of maesters whose necks are heavy with metal from different blah, 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 have failed to do so. How did you do it? And he sort of says, I read the instructions and I followed them. Which I think that is going to be a theme, for Sam, which is that he is meticulous and he does what he needs to do to get stuff done. But the practical upshot of this whole thing, regardless of Sam getting rewarded or punished or whatever, is that Jorah Mormont is now, cured, alive, and on his way back to Dany. And then, of course, the episode ends with the sort of dual battles, again, edited in a way that is not very Game of Thronesy. It's edited in that way where they say, here's what we think is going to happen, and then they show it to you happening, and they say, but that's not going to work, so we're going to do it this way instead. And then they show you that. But in this case, it was actually a double fake out, because they say, we're going to do it this way, and if we do, we're going to lose. And so you see that. They say, what we're actually going to do is we're going to do it this way. And they win. But most of what they were there to do is not there anymore, because Jaime figures out that they're going to try and take Casterly Rock, and instead he sends the bulk of the forces to take Highgarden. And he does. And so now the chess pieces have shifted a bit. So now we've got most of Dany, or a chunk of Dany's army, way on the other side of the continent where they're essentially cut off. But now we've got the Lannister army further in on Highgarden. So they're sort of consolidating their power closer in to King's Landing. But the real story here is that death scene for Lady Olenna, who gets the last word in when she says, Jaime basically gives her the opportunity to die with some dignity, with some poison that would be painless. And then she says, that's good, because I wouldn't want it to be like your son, who I killed. And make sure you tell your sister. So that was season 7, episode 3. Still firing on all cylinders, and man, are they moving fast this season. Good times. FastCast TV. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching the FastCast. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mr. J Handle, and check back, because I do this a couple times every week. FastCast.